Živjo, Ivy here. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are setting up for November all the books that I've read. Let's go. I didn't read a lot. Usually I read around 4 books, but I was kind of hoping that I would read a little bit more than 4. But 4 is fine. I read 4 romance and 1 thriller book. And I have to say these books were great. I had fun reading them, and yeah. Also, I can't wait for the new bullet journal. I made a horrible mistake because this bullet journal, or well, a notebook actually, is more big. I think it's a B5, and sometimes I just keep adding stickers or write really ugly to fill it up. And you will see me fill it up in the first book because I didn't read all the books. And I was like, okay, I read this one, let's make a setup for this book. And I forgot I actually write my thoughts, which I don't do usually, but I write it in my language so you kind of can see what exactly did I write about it. Unless you're from my country. Then if you want to spoil yourself, go ahead. But yeah, I did a mistake of buying a really small notebook, and yeah, I had to order a new one, so I don't know when I will set up that one. I might be late with that one. This month I was reading nothing but books. One was from my library, others I already had them. So no audio or an ebook. I hope these lights don't, I don't know. I hope it's not so bad for you to watch this video, because I had to film the video at, well, mostly at nighttime because it gets dark really fast before I go home. And with the first book, it is Twisted Lies, and I'm finished with the Twisted series. Now, if I have to rank all 4 books, I would go with, well, with my favorites, I would go with Twisted Games, Twisted Lies, and I constantly keep switching Twisted Hate or Twisted Love. I don't know which one I want to put on the 3rd place and which one the 4th, because every time I think about it, okay, so but I don't like this about the book, then I want to add it to the 3rd place, to the 4th place, and keep this one the 3rd place. I don't know. So between Twisted Hate and Twisted Love, not so sure how to rank them, but my favorite one of the Twisted series is Twisted Games. Now, Twisted Lies is about one of the 4 girls in this book, and this is about Stella. She is very passionate about fashion, and she kind of like wants to make her own clothing line and all that. She has big dreams. Her family not so supportive. Her family can be very toxic, not exactly good. This book is like you have Grumpy Sunshine, you have Fake Dating, Stalker, and I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, when Jules, who lived with Stella in this huge apartment in a hotel, I think that is owned by Christian, the main guy, she moved to move on with Josh, and so Stella stayed alone in this apartment, and the rent is super high. So Christian did everything for her to like lower her rent just so that she would stay, because he had a crush, even though he didn't want to confess it at the start. Of course they dated because it was good for both of them, but of course first there were like rules like no sex and all that, and in the end they couldn't help the attraction and they did it. Their relationship, once they like wanted to be more serious about it, Stella learns that their relationship is pretty much built out of lies, especially from Christian side. So yeah, they kind of have to make it work. Also, Stella had to confront her stalker, which Christian kind of acts like a stalker himself, but it's not him, it's somebody else. Overall, I had fun reading this book. It was a long book, but it was a fun book. I have to say, I really went. I mean, certain books I have to really struggle, and reading this one, I just ate it up. It was fun. Second book, Love Theoretically by Ellie Hazelwood. I love her books. Her books remind me so much of my younger self reading so many fanfictions. It gives me those type of feelings, and I like it. So in this one, I have no idea how this academic world actually works, but it is hard for females specifically. So we have a huge fight between who are theoretical kind of academics, who have like ideas but don't know how to execute them, and then you have these other guys, which Alice is I don't know how to say. She's basically, it's a fight between two sides, and Jack was the one who created this fight 15 years ago because he wanted to ruin someone's career, but he didn't actually just, well, he didn't exactly ruin it, but that other professor or that other guy couldn't like move on to be more. But he also destroyed chances, and everybody looked different at these people who are theorizing about certain things. I'm so bad to explain this, but this is such a cute book. Elise really has to watch her sugar levels because she has diabetes and she has to be really careful, and she is desperate for a job, health insurance, and she really wanted to work in this new school. Like she really wanted to go there, but it didn't go so well. So here's the deal. Elise worked in a school as a teacher, but they didn't pay her a lot, and so to make extra money, she was like fake dating on this online to go be their fake girlfriend. And she was a fake girlfriend to a friend of her, who's male by the way, and he happens to be, she went to his family, get to meet them, pretend to be his girlfriend, and she met Jack. Then she learned who Jack really is when she went to apply for this job, and that he's the asshole who ruined everyone's career at that. Yeah, it was like academic rivals. I think more like enemies to lovers could be. No, not enemies to lovers. I think more like work rivals. I think that would fit more. But I have to say, it's a lovely book. I actually like this one. So far, Ellie Hazelwood books are really a fun read, and I do recommend. Our girl Elise is also really, really smart, and Jack respects her a lot. Oh, and also Jack noticed something about Elise is that she kind of like changes her personality for like people pleasing type. Like she wants to be perfect for people, but she's not being herself. She's basically being this person that the other person wants them to be. Something like that. And Jack kind of helps her to be like, be honest and just be yourself. And I think that's wonderful. Alright, the third book, The Maidens. Now this author also wrote The Silent Patient, which I liked. I think it was a really good book. And we meet certain someone that is in that book as well, and how he applied for that job. Somehow I have a feeling that I like this book more than The Silent Patient. There's a lot going on here, and God, it's so heartbreaking, especially for Mariana. So Mariana is like surrounded by death. She lost her mother when she was born, then her father, her older sister, and her husband as well, and she is left with her nephew. Her name is Zoe. Mariana was ready to do anything to protect Zoe because she's the only family that is left. She's just ready to do whatever. And in this school that Zoe was staying, murder is happening. Like, young girls are dying. And it was weird to find in this school for this professor to have these girls following around and be called maidens, which is kind of creepy. I'm sorry. It does sound like he is preying on these girls, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but he is like the prime suspect that he has something to do with the murders. The twist, I kind of saw it coming because I'm not gonna say who, but someone started to act a bit strange and I didn't trust him, and I was right about it, but I didn't know how deep it goes. Also, Mariana, I don't think she ever knew her husband Sebastian well enough, because that guy was hiding some really dark and disturbing secret. I mean, I get it, his childhood was not good, but I guess he never shared that with her. Also, Mariana is like group therapist. That is like her whole job, but even though she is a therapist, she still goes to therapy herself. I guess it's not so simple to move on. And the trauma that Mariana went through is basically through her father, and I guess that's why maybe she didn't see Sebastian in a different light, because the way her father was. Basically, you have to read this book. The book is great. There are a lot of things happening. You do meet a lot of people in here, and this one guy, I think his name was Fred. Yeah, the professor who is creepy is Edward. I mean, he is like a very charming type of professor, which, yeah, you know, I get why girls will like go for like older guy, professor kind of the guy, kind of thing. But Fred is like younger than Mariana, and he says that he's like psychic, he can see things, and he's very interested in Mariana. And she's like, no son, like, I'm older than you. But yeah, I do recommend this book. If you want a thriller book, go for this one. But I do suggest, if you didn't read Silent Patient, do read that one first. Okay? And the last book is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I read Mariana's book, I think it was called From Luco with Love. I love slow romance. I think she writes really nice slow romance, and this one is also really good. I think this is for this month, the highest book, which we're gonna get to that later. But our girl Vanessa was working for this athlete to be his, I guess, personal assistant, which she went with him everywhere. She cooked food for him and all that, and cleaned after him for 2 years. And she's an artist, and she was pursuing a dream, and she thought, I will quit because now I have enough money to start my own business. And that's what she did. And the guy, Aiden, who she worked for, he thought that she wasn't so serious about quitting, and then I think a couple of weeks he went looking for her and asked her to come back to work for him. And then he was honest with her why he really needs her is because his visa is expiring, and if that happens, he's going to be kicked out of the team and he has to leave the country. And so he asked her to marry him, and she was like, are you crazy? That is a crime. It's illegal to do that. But she went with it because he promised her to pay her loan for school that she has, and he will buy her a house, and they should be married for at least 5 years, and it should be enough, right? So she needed the money. She wanted to pay the debt. And so she said yes, even though she wasn't exactly comfortable. And I like it that they didn't like straight go for feelings, and all that. No. This is what I like her books. They became friends. They kind of start caring for each other, getting to know what each other, and they get to see, like, Aiden did have kind of like a bad childhood because of his father, and so he grew up with his grandparents. Vanessa, on the other hand, had psycho sisters. The things those sisters had done to her is, oh my god. And her mother didn't help because her mother was an alcoholic. And I love this because they bonded through trauma. They get to trust each other. They become friends. They care for one another, and I love that. And of course, then later came, relationship, love, and sex. And the entire book was wonderful. It was slow romance. It was slow read. I love it. And then the ending, it went way too fast. I guess the first sex that they did, she ended up pregnant because they had kids immediately, and that's one thing that I didn't like. I was kind of hoping that at the end of the book, yeah, they're still married, but it would be cool if she was just expecting a baby, like she was pregnant for the first time, not that she already has 2 kids with him. That means they immediately went to work with it. That kind of no, that didn't work with me. If you're writing a slow book all this time, then don't rush the ending like that. All in all, this book is fantastic. I loved it. And here we are at the first page. I read nothing but books, no audiobooks or ebooks. Everything was just books. The Maidens were from my library. I read quite some pages, and these are the stars. Twisted Lies as 4, Love Theoretically as 4, The Maidens 4, and The Wall of Winnipeg and Me is 4.5. And I added a little extra star there because it is the favorite of this month. And that would be all. Thank you so much for watching my little video. Write down which books you were reading this month, and yeah, I hope to see you in my next one. Ciao ciao.